Welcome to the Hall Hotline. Honest conversations on faith, family, work, and the challenges that shape us. Because just as iron sharpens iron, life sharpens us. Stand firm. Answer the call. Live with purpose.
All right. Good morning, party people. It is Friday. We finally made it. Let's get a round of applause. All right. Well, if you've been following along this week, we've had a pretty fun week. Started the week off with an amazing young man, Christian, 15 years old, and already a lot smarter than a lot of adults I know. Writing his own sermons and delivering messages. Great. I'm so proud of the next generation sometimes. All right. Well, today is Friday, and today we're going to talk about something pretty cool. So, you guys may know, for anybody that's listened long enough or known me well, that I am a numbers guy. So anytime I hear stories or read things that are involved with a lot of cool numbers, I like to really dive deeper into those. So today we are going to read in Matthew and talk about the parable of the sower. And I'm also going to tell you about something that I saw online that I thought was pretty cool. All right, let's dive in. So earlier this week, I actually heard an author and a TV show host, and she was talking about apples. And, I started thinking of my favorite quote about apples with Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting. And, hey, you like apples? How do you like dem apples? I got her number. Anyway, that's a little throwback to a previous episode and also to an awesome movie. So Good Will Hunting. If you've not seen that movie, you've been living under a rock, but you need to check it out. But anyway, so she was talking about apples, and she said something pretty interesting. If you were to cut open an apple, how many seeds would you find? And, it could be maybe 7, 8, 10, or 12 seeds in an apple. But if you reverse that, how many apples are in a seed? So think of it that way, not seeds in an apple, but apples that come from a seed. So she made the point that one seed makes over 10,000 apples. I think she said something like 10,700, 750, something like that. And how many seeds is that? In one apple, if there are 10 or 12 seeds, and every seed can make an additional 10 or 11,000 apples, that's over 86,000 seeds. That's crazy. So then she asked, what is your seed? Is it 1 minute of time? Is it a moment of kindness? Is it one thing you can do to help someone out? And what she was saying was this. If you were to take that one apple if you take that one apple that has 10 or 12 seeds and you planted all of those seeds, and those seeds each made 10,000 to 11,000 additional apples, you would have 86,000 seeds. And if you planted all of those, you would get over 924 million apples. So guys, that blew my mind, just to think that one apple could produce 924 million more. And this is not something that's some new idea. This is something that Jesus talks about, as I said earlier, in Matthew, Matthew chapter 13, the parable of the sower. So I'm going to read it to you real quick. So the parable of the sower, chapter 13, that same day Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him, and he got into a boat and sat in it. All of the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, a farmer went out to sow his seed. He was scattering the seed. Some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly, but because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear. Now, guys, Jesus talked in parables a lot, and sometimes they made sense, and sometimes you kind of left there scratching your head. So I'm going to unpack this one for you. And actually, the disciples asked the Lord, and they said, hey, help us here. And we don't really understand. What are you trying to tell us? So later on in Matthew 13, he says, listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed falling on rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop, yielding 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. So, guys, that's what this is talking about. Now, not every seed that comes out of an apple is going to hit the ground and go in the soil. I mean, heck, we eat seeds, we throw the cords away, we eat the apples. Sometimes we don't eat the seeds. But I'm being literal here. But the picture that's getting painted is just like that apple seed, we're the same way. Are we going to fall on rocky ground? Are we going to get into thorns? I mean, when we hear the word of God, sometimes, and I know people that have been all in, they've jumped right in, they've gotten baptized, they are gung-ho for the Lord, and then 6 months later, they're not even in church anymore. The ways of the world got in their way, or something negative got in their ear. Some of those thorns started to make them question things. And, questioning things isn't bad, but outright believing the lies and sins of the world over believing the word of God, well, guys, that's bad. Now, going back to the parable of the sower, the last one, the good soil, that's the goal, right? We want to produce a harvest with 920 million apples. Think about it. If you talk to one person today about the Bible, you don't know who that person might be. That person might be somebody famous that has 1 million followers or hundreds of millions of fans, and they might have heard your message and they might share it with 100 million people. I mean, think about people like LeBron James or the Kardashians or all these celebrities that have hundreds of millions of followers. When they hear something and they share it, 100 million people learn it. Just imagine if they were sharing a positive message about salvation. That's where you guys come in. I do this podcast with the hopes to reach one more person. Pastor Joby says it all the time. The church is a church for all people, not some people, not just the people that have their life together, for all the people. And Pastor Joby always says, when their house is full, they'll make one more seat. God always goes and cares about the one. He leaves the 99 sheep to find the missing one. And that's kind of what this podcast is for. I'm trying to find people that might be that missing sheep. So maybe that's you today, or maybe not. Maybe you're a shepherd in your own right. But go spread the message, plant the seed, be that apple, and plant 10 to 12 seeds. And watch those 10 to 12 seeds plant their own seeds. Because pretty soon, that one little apple that you are, that one little apple and those few little seeds you planted, they might just become 924 million. Guys, you never know. So let's think about that for another second. What seed has God placed in your heart? Have you been refusing to plant it because maybe it seemed too small? Don't focus on the size of the seed. Focus on the size of God who is growing that seed. Now, today's challenge, I want you to plant one seed today. Like I said in the beginning, maybe that's stopping and taking a minute and helping someone change their tire. Maybe it's driving by on the side of the road and someone's been waving you down and you help them out. Do something kind. Maybe share the word with that waitress at that restaurant today. Maybe pray for somebody. Asking somebody who's struggling if you can pray for them has so much power you don't even know. Maybe share a Bible verse. Hey, how about this? Invite someone to church. Guys, one small act of kindness. That's all you got to do. Plant one seed today and then do it again tomorrow. All right, in closing, I want to leave you with this. You can count the seeds in an apple, but you can't count the apples in a seed. That same thing is true of the impact God can create through one act of faithfulness. Well, thank you for listening today. And remember, stand firm and walk humbly with the Lord, because that's the hallway.
Thank you for spending time with us today. If this conversation inspired, encouraged, or challenged you, share it with someone who loves Jesus and someone who doesn't yet. If you've enjoyed the show, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review. Remember, stand firm in the truth and answer the phone when God calls.